Okay, thank you, Peter. Okay, I'm going to report that. I'm definitely going to report that. Okay, so you can hear me now. So I'll start again. Tomorrow, same time as now, is myself, Peter Stewart, Chris de Boven, Jim Ziegler, Marco Novo from Portugal, Nick Wood from England, Dom from Sarnia, Ontario, and Harper Peterson from Arizona. And we've become firm friends over the weeks that we've been broadcasting out on Restream. I'm hosting tomorrow. So if you can join us tomorrow, I'm sure that Peter and Chris will. Thank you. Yeah, it seems to be when I go put anything full screen, my sound goes off. Strange things happen. Okay, so that's the first notice of the day, and I'm going to hide that. Come back to me. Now, every 3-4 months, get together with friends. So my second announcement today is for this, which is Live Video Production Week, which runs from the 1st to the 5th of March. We've been doing this. This is our 9th time we've actually done this. And there are a team of us who got together 3 years ago now to actually promote live broadcasting and to help people go live. Now, that's how we started out. We started out by assisting people going live. It's changed over the years. Over the last 4 years, broadcasting has changed beyond all recognition. So what we now do is to help people push the horizons and to actually try new things. So March 1st to 5th, 10 a.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. in the UK, 4 p.m. in Belgium, we will be pushing the boat out. And amongst the systems that we're actually looking at, I can tell you, because I've got it all lined up here. If I press that button, on Monday, that's the 1st of March, Brijesh Thembanda will be on BeLive. On Tuesday, David will be on StreamYard. Wednesday is Marco on Restream. Thursday is Nick on Melon. If you've not heard of it, you will. And Friday is me on Streamlabs, or OBS Ninja, as it's properly known. So those are the 5 shows that are going to be taking place. We only agreed this sort of 3 hours ago, so this is hot off the press. Look out for further information between now and the 1st of March. And if you want to know more about each of the 5 systems, then there are slots available on camera. You can actually join us and you can come and talk about any of the 5 systems. But they're all going to be totally different, because this time, where it says Brigetti BeLive, Brigetti is producing the show. Where it says David StreamYard, David is producing the show. Where it says Marco Restream, Marco is producing the show. You're getting the thought on this. Nick is producing the show Melon, and I'm producing the show on OBS Ninja. So we've got 5 days, 5 systems, 5 producers, probably 5 topics. The producers at the moment are trying to invite guests from each of the 5 platforms. And the idea is that you actually learn more about the platform, more about the people behind it, and decide whether you can actually make use of it. And it's an honor that each of them stepped forward, just basically, as I say, 3 hours ago, and said that they were willing, more than willing, in fact, excited to actually go live on those platforms. So 5 platforms are BeLive, StreamYard, Restream, Melon from Streamlabs, and OBS Ninja. And over to Chris. And Chris is saying super. Thank you. It's going to be quite a week, because with 5, and when we started this, I used to produce all 5 shows. I can relax a bit now, because I've handed off the duties of producing and hosting the show to 4 friends, and I'm only responsible for the one on Friday. And I'm hoping that Linda West will join me on Friday. I'm also hoping that I'll get an interview with the creator of OBS Ninja, and we'll be able to play that video during the live broadcast on Friday. So we'll actually meet Steve Seguin, who is the man behind OBS Ninja. OBS Ninja, free to use 24/7. broadcast wherever you want through OBS, and it's probably it's the most popular video on my YouTube channel with over 500 views so far. It's the coming system because not everybody can afford to pay the $25, and so OBS Ninja is free, and that means that more people can actually use it, and they can use it from their laptop, they can use it from their mobile, they can join from their laptop, they can join from their mobile, join from their tablet, and they don't have to pay a penny. All they need is a reasonable internet. I've done 4 videos which are on YouTube, which take you from knowing nothing about OBS Ninja through to being a ninja about OBS Ninja. You see what I did there? And you can basically go live, 7 people on screen from your own desktop and not pay anybody anything. Go live on Facebook, go live on YouTube, go live on Vimeo, go live on Twitch, wherever you want to broadcast to, you can broadcast to. Now, the other shows that are on during the week of the established platforms, that's BeLive, StreamYard, Restream, and Melon, I've got guest slots, I'm pretty sure. So if you want to be on any of those shows, you can. Marco's running the Restream show on Wednesday, and there'll be 2 shows on Wednesday for Restream. There'll be the one we normally do at 12 p.m. Eastern, and then the one earlier, which will hopefully have somebody from Restream on it as well. So an important week to learn about all the systems that we can actually use, from free to $35 a month, depending on what you actually want to do. Okay, so that's to look forward to. I'm excited. I'm hoping to cajole Brigetti to do the graphics, and everybody's producing their own show. So as I say, I can relax until the Friday. Right, okay. Now, the next thing I want to talk about is Revue. And Revue is a newsletter creation system. One of the problems that I have, and I know lots of people have, is that I go live on Facebook, I go live on YouTube, I do instructional videos, I write blogs. I write blogs on my own website. I write blogs on the BeLive website. I've got a blog coming out tomorrow. How do you actually pull all this together to let people know? Well, the thing is that for free, you can send out a weekly newsletter. And that weekly newsletter can contain anything you want. So it's a way of actually keeping in touch with people. And over to Peter. And Peter is saying, are you going to tell them that you can actually watch a live stream from your bath? Like I am now. I wasn't planning to, but you've tricked me into reading it out, Peter. I hope you enjoyed your walk earlier, and glad that you actually relaxed by watching me live. So that's good. I don't mind at all where you are, as long as you're watching. Yeah, so what's this all about? This, to me, this is the next big thing. This is free. It's backed by Twitter. Revue itself used to be a chargeable product, a good chargeable product. It's now free, and we can use it to actually tell people what we're up to. And it doesn't have to be us. I can mark it for anybody who's in my circle of friends who's actually broadcasting. Not the way Peter does it. Not the way, we've seen pictures, Chris. I'm not saying you should actually see the pictures, but yeah, it's okay. We best leave the topic. We'll wait till Peter has towelled himself off. Is another question from Chris, who's intrigued, obviously. Isn't that dangerous, Peter? Okay. Well, he won't get electrocuted. The worst he could do is actually lose his iPad. And if he lost his iPad, he wouldn't be able to broadcast on BeLive Mobile. And if he couldn't broadcast on BeLive Mobile, where would he be? A man with a new mission, broadcasting on BeLive Mobile. Over to Peter. New to the Revue. Yes. Okay, I'm going to Revue. And I'm going to do that by actually bringing it up on screen. And this is my blog post about Revue. I'm going to go picture in picture that way. And basically, it is an integrated approach to social media using Revue from Twitter. And at the end of this, I'm going to scroll through this and give you an overview, and then I'm going to tell you how to do it. So you can promote your own broadcast through a newsletter. And I'm going to go over to the page. And here's the page. I found the right page. So an integrated approach to social media using Revue from Twitter. Now, Twitter bought the Revue platform back in January, which means that we now have a way to collate our social media presence. As I said, my social media presence is actually scattered to the winds, which is not an ideal place. It means that on Facebook, my circle of friends will not see everything that I do. And I'm not want to see everything, but I want to see more than they do at the moment. So I can now create I can create a weekly newsletter collating all my social media content. I can use content from my social media sites, from my YouTube channel. And if you click, you'll see a picture there of Mr. John Upton, Mr. Peter Stewart, Mr. Stephen Silk, and me. And you'll see John Upton again, and you can see Angelica. So my YouTube channel, I can use my Facebook videos, I can use my BeLive blog posts, and those are my BeLive blog posts so far. So they can appear in the newsletter. And in addition to that, I can also publicize my podcast and the blogs on my website. So here's a sample of the blogs on my website. OBS Ninja we spoke about a moment ago. Where can we store our live videos, which is a subject dear to my heart, because the broadcasting systems don't store them forever. Facebook degrade them. So where do we store our videos? Green screens, another passion of mine. And which camera should you use for live broadcasting? There's a blog about that as well. And there's a blog about streaming to your website. I'll come back to that in a second. So eclectic mix of blogs. So what I did, and over to Peter, new to Revue, okay. What I did, I'm going to show you how it looks in a minute, but I'm just going to finish this off. Because what you need to do, two things, is go to your Twitter account and press more. Yeah, that's the first step. Go to your Twitter account and press more. You then get a new menu and you simply press newsletters. That's it. So go to your Twitter account, press more, press newsletters, and that's it. You're on your way to actually setting up your own newsletter. It couldn't get any simpler than that. And so far, 600, we're close to 700, 699 people have actually read that blog post, and 132 of those have been today. I've told Revue about it as well, so who knows what could happen. Revue now know that the Revue exists. So you can start your own newsletter at any time if you're broadcasting in more than one place. If you're writing blogs, if you're sending out tweets, then you can bring them all together in one newspaper, which Chris has seen. And I'm going to stop sharing this screen. Okay, so this is going to disappear. You'll get me back on screen. So I'm back. And we're going to take a look at the newsletter itself. This is the sort of thing you can do. This is not prescriptive. This is just way I have done it. It's not the only way. So let's share the screen again. And this time I'm going to share a different tab. And the tab I'm going to share is that one. I think that's the one. Just a minute. Okay, I may be showing the wrong one here. I am showing the wrong one. Just a moment. Let me stop that. What's the one I want called? Let me close that Facebook page. I don't need that. I'm confusing myself. Right. Okay. I've now found the tab I want to share. So I'm going to share it. This is live video. If everything went perfectly, what will we do? So I want to share a tab called Issues. I've got it. Okay, so I'm now going to take you over to the Revue website. Okay, again, I'm going to go picture in picture. I'm going to stay on screen so you can actually hear me. So this is the Revue website, and it's designed for you to create your newsletter. And basically, it's very intuitive. If I go in to the newsletter, and it's going to come up on screen. Okay, this is the first one I sent out. Now, I sent this out last Friday, and I was I was so excited. I actually just, well, not threw it together, but I did. The content I wanted in the newsletter was the content that actually ended up there. But on my second newsletter, which will come out this Friday, I will take a more considered approach. But you give the newsletter a title. I've changed that title. So the second newsletter will have a different title. I also have a longer editorial. And some of these should be familiar. First article is about green screens. If you click on that, it takes you over to my website. The second is optimizing your Chrome browser, which takes it over to YouTube and a video with Inga from BeLive and myself. So website, YouTube. Then the next one is from YouTube as well, how to show slides on Facebook and behind the scenes. How to improve your live streaming quality. There was a blog post on BeLive, and then testing Melon live streaming app with Chris and with Peter, also mixed in. And again, that's a YouTube link. So in that newsletter, I was able to put together things that I've been doing in the previous week. And that means that I can then send out that newsletter. And you've got to bear in mind, this is issue 1, and I hadn't told anybody about it. And there's my profile page. But if I go behind the scenes now, I'm staying on this page, and go to analysis, you can see that it went out. This is not good, because I was so enthusiastic. I sent it out to a mailing list which is a bit old, but I got 11% click-through rate, and 72 people actually read the newsletter that you looked. And for a first issue, for 72 people to read it, I'm quite happy with that. If it goes up from 72 in week 2, then all good. I haven't actually started marketing it yet. I just put one sort of post on my Facebook page, and from that, I'm reaching out to an audience that I've connected with over the years, brought together in an email list. I may well start a new email list, but this is the way, as far as I'm concerned, to bring everything together. Because the other thing I do, as Chris knows, is I do a podcast, and the content of the newsletter becomes the content of the podcast. Before I do a podcast, I sit down and make a list of things I'm going to talk about. With doing this weekly newsletter, then I can talk about things that are in the newsletter, and I can bring them to life. So Revue, free from Twitter, enables you to send out a weekly newsletter to keep people informed. Now, in the second newsletter, not only will there be my great works, but the great works of friends as well, like Marco and Brigetti, will both feature in the next edition. And I'd like to broaden that out. I'd like to have about 10 articles and a split between things that I've been doing and things that friends are doing. So that's, to my way of thinking, because it's free, because it's from Twitter, it's a way to fall back in love with Twitter again. So that is my cook's tour of Revue from Twitter. I can't see any reason not to use it. If you broadcast more than once a week, then you've got things to actually tell people about, and you can bring in your YouTube videos, your Facebook posts, your blog posts on your own site, your blog posts on other people's site, and your podcasts can all form part of your weekly newsletter. And it's basically, it's your newsletter, because I'm going to come to a thing here. if you want your newsletter, just for argument's sake, to contain an advertisement for, say, Aberkill, then it can contain the advertisement for Aberkill. You are in editorial content, in your editorial control. The other thing is that if you do build up an audience with the newsletter, then you can actually charge for it. The mechanism is already there. If you want to charge $1 a month for your newsletter because it's got exclusive content in it, because I can put training videos in there which are exclusive, then you can charge for it. You can also charge people to advertise in it. You can also advertise in it yourself. There are a whole range of marketing opportunities within Revue. I think I've woken Peter up. I have 2 Twitter accounts. Can you? Yes, you can use your free Twitter account. I would, however, do one at a time. Yeah. Well, I'm sorry. I'm only going to do one to begin with and make sure that that's established. But it is tied to your Twitter account, so you can have, for every Twitter account you can have a Revue newsletter, and there is no charge. And you can include Aberkill advertisements, and I can include advertisements for live video production. So all of that means that there's a way of keeping people informed. So check out Revue. I'll put a link in after this live broadcast so you can go and take a look. Sign up, it's free. It doesn't have to, you can bring in content from anywhere. So if you wanted, for argument's sake, if you wanted to create an educational newsletter in Dutch or Flemish, then you can do that. The only thing you need to then is to build your email list, to build your Revue list, and send it out to more and more people. You can invite people to subscribe, as Chris has done to my newsletter. Thank you, Chris. And you can just push it out, and you get a reminder to do it every Friday. You can gather the material during the week. I've already started on Friday's newsletter. Anything that's interested me just goes into the newsletter, and then at the end of the week I just write the editorial and send it out. So Revue is my product of the week. Okay, right, if you've got any questions about live broadcasting, then now is a good time to ask. I'm willing to answer any of them. I love the green screen that I'm using today. This is my new favorite green screen. Can't tell you too much about it yet, but I can do that and it works. So that's my acid test of any green screen. The other thing to talk about is that BeLive Mobile is on the way, and I'll post a link afterwards if you want to help Peter testing BeLive Mobile, which is on iOS and on iPad, as Peter knows, or on an old iPhone even. Then you can join in the actual testing. And I've just been through sort of a script that they had in that group, and there's some interesting links coming up. So check it out and say hello to Chris. Thank you. Thank you. Excellent. Excellent. Very good. Thank you. Yeah, I mean, I enjoy doing it. I mean, anything that you put together, the level of enthusiasm will be enjoyed. You have a slight ready brick glow above my head. Well, that's because I'm leaning forward. If I sit properly, Peter, it won't show. This is not XSplit VCam, so I didn't set the lights up either properly. So I could probably switch a few lights off and sort it, but my hands are fine. My face is fine. It's okay. This is as close as we can get. And if you compare this with XSplit, it compares rather well. Okay, and over to Peter again. And Peter is saying, I was on XSplit blog today. Very good. Oh, you featured on the XSplit blog. Can you explain a bit further about that? Because that's interesting. Okay, I know you've been popping up on BeLive in 5 and disappearing again. Yeah, okay. So the other thing I want to talk about is this, and I need to close a few things down because I don't need that anymore, and I don't need that anymore. I don't need that anymore. So bear with me. I'm closing things down, and I'm going to go over here. Right. So I'm setting up a screen share, and is Peter? Oh, you read the XSplit blog? Okay, fine, good. Okay, there is a new feature on XSplit, and my mobile's charging. You can, yeah, it is. They're good people. You can actually use the XSplit background on your mobile camera. But you didn't know that. It's a new feature, and whatever background you've got on here, you can actually use on your mobile phone. So that's a thing to watch out for. Okay, just give me a moment. So my next question, which I posed in the BeLive group yesterday, I'm just scrolling down to find my post in the BeLive group, and it's so busy in there that I'm struggling to actually find it. I will find it in a second or two, I promise you. Just it's worth it. Just wait a second. And I'm going past Irene's post, and I've got to my post, so I can put that up there. And now I can screen share again. I love screen share. And I will bring in a new screen share from the BeLive group. Okay, and before I do that, I'll take a comment that's just come in. And Peter's latest comment. You've got to be on the same Wi-Fi network, Peter. That's the only requirement. You've got to be on the same Wi-Fi network. Okay, right. Okay, so I'm going to bring this up on screen, and I'm going to go picture in picture. Okay, hope you can see this. I asked a question yesterday in the BeLive group, and as I said earlier at the top of this, you never know what people are going to answer. And it is Peter likes BeLive in 5's video. Thank you, Peter. That was live, wasn't it? You never know what's going to happen when you actually post a poll and ask people to vote. You could get no votes at all, which would not be a good result. But fortunately, when I posted in the BeLive as yesterday, I did get some. Well, let's go through it. I'll not talk about it. Let's do it. So this is the post I did yesterday, and the question was, I'll just read it to you so that we're all on the same page. Which skill set would you like to boost to improve your live broadcasts? Whether we've been broadcasting for 5 years or 5 days, there is always that one thing we would like to get better at. And then said, please select the ones that relate to you and add any ones I may have missed. Now the votes are coming in, and generally speaking, you've got to wait 3 or 4 days for most people to actually see it. And the top requirement of people, the top thing that people would like to know about is show graphics. Yeah. How to design show graphics. So what I'm going to do in that instance is I'm going to get together with a couple of people. I mean, I'm graphically challenged. If I did a workshop on design, it would work, but it wouldn't be the best it could be. So I'm going to get a couple of friends together, and we'll do a workshop on specifically on designing for a live broadcast in terms of backdrops, in terms of frames, low thirds, you name it. We'll be talking about it. So that's coming up, and that's basically prompted by the answers here. The second choice, second most popular option, was selling online. And selling online to me, is an art form. Let's go to the next comment. Interesting one from Amy about not liking being producer and the host. Right, thank you, Peter. Noted. I'm not good. Well, I'll come back to that if I may. Okay. The second option that people chose was selling online, and more people want to sell online, but basically there are two things about this. Three things. One is having the right sales script, so you come across as friendly and not too salesy. The second thing is having all your assets together in terms of having the right images and the right text and the right prices. And the third thing is putting it all together and going out live at the right time to actually catch people in the mood. And then finally, the fourth thing of the three is you do need some sort of messenger bot in the background to actually take orders whilst you're live. So again, there will be another training course or series of videos about that. And the other thing, the next favorite Right, I'm back. Can you hear me now? Put a hand up if you can hear me now. Okay, I should have sound now because I've refreshed. I don't have any additional resources in play. It's just me. I don't have a virtual background in place. I've just got a green screen, just like Nick Wood uses. So if you can hear me now and you're still watching, then thank you. It could be that I don't know if anybody's watching now because I've lost the count. Thank you, Chris. Right, okay. Don't you just love live video? This has been creeping up in terms of sound just going off randomly. So after this broadcast, we're going to get to the bottom of this because I do need to be able to screen share. And up until now, it's been working well. So let's just push this. I'm going to share my screen. And I'm going to share my screen. I'm going to go back to where I was. The only thing, of course, is that I have no idea where we actually left off. So if the sound disappears now, can you let me know? Okay. And just close Peter's conversation. I can't, just as on a technical note, I never check Messenger whilst I'm live because I'm focused on being on screen. So if you can hear me, just say yes and we'll know. And Peter's now director. And yes, we have sound. Okay. Right, I'm not going to move. I'm just going to sit here and talk to the screen. So I'm going to go in reverse order. Right, so what you didn't hear me talking about, and just tell me when you actually catch myself up. Interviewing is selling online. Oh, thank you, Chris. And Peter's catching up as well. You're saying yes. Okay. Right. So selling online, I'm going to get the experts in on that one. And then broadcasting solo. I'm not going to move now. This is probably where it went wrong when I went solo screen. I'm going to stay in the corner. Broadcasting solo, if you'd asked me sort of 18 months ago, I didn't like broadcasting on my own. I always broadcast with friends. I always have co-hosts. Now you can't take me off broadcasting solo. And I think it's a change that comes about as a result of actually broadcasting more and more and gaining confidence in what you're talking about. Now, I would never go solo unless I had an agenda. Now, an agenda is 5 or 6 points that you've written down that you're going to talk about during your broadcast. If you don't do that, then you're going to have dead air. You're going to lose track of what you're doing. It will not work. No matter how good you are, you can't come live for an hour or 30 minutes even and just talk on your own. It's difficult because you're out of words and then you get silences, and there's been too many of those in this broadcast. So it is a learned skill though. Broadcasting on just you on screen is a learned skill. It's something which we can all learn. So I'll be bringing some friends in who I respect as solo broadcasters and getting them to give us advice on how they achieve going live. And yeah, so that's another skill that people want to know about. And the other thing that people want to know about is interviewing. Now, my hero, as far as interviewing is concerned, is a gentleman called Michael Parkinson, which people in the UK should recognize. Michael is the most amazing interviewer. He can bring stories from people. He interviewed Cassius Clay, or Muhammad Ali, as we called him later, and he got the stories. He went 10 rounds with Muhammad Ali, and the stories were still being told at the end of the 10 rounds. And his way of doing things was to actually bring out people's stories. And that's what interviewing is about. It's not about the host. It's not about me. It's about the person I'm actually talking to. And it's important that as a host, I actually listen. Yeah. Now, an interview can be totally scripted or it can be free format. But even in a free format interview, you would have a series of questions. You agree with your guest beforehand, and then you can ask additional questions which they may or may not be expecting. So interviewing was a request from members of BeLive's group, and then finally was cameras and equipment. If I scroll down, there are a couple of other topics as well that people requested, and if I go there, show promotion and how to be a skilled interviewer from Brigetti, and how next level show production, which is what we'll be doing March 1st through 5th. Right now, I don't move. I don't take that off screen. I'm just wondering what would happen if I stop screen sharing. This is this is trying. So what I want to do, I know what I want to do, but I don't know if I'll disappear off camera or my sound will go. What do you think? Have a vote. Should I stay on screen with the background, or should I? All right, okay, I'm going to go for a break here. And if I go quiet, the show will finish in 60 seconds. Thank you, everybody who joined today live. Thank you for your questions and comments. They keep the broadcast going. Thank you for being part of BeLive. Thank you for testing BeLive Mobile. So if I'm disappearing a minute, those are the thank yous. Take care, and I'll see you again, both of you, and anybody else watching. I'll see you again tomorrow when we are. Tomorrow, I'm not going to put it full screen, but it is live talks with myself, Chris, and Peter, and Marco, and Jim, and Dom, and Harper. So we'll be live again tomorrow at 12 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. in the UK. And hopefully this is still, you can still hear me. If you can still hear me, that's good. If you can't hear me, then you haven't got a clue what I'm talking about. And after selling. Yeah. Okay. So there we have it. That's the Cook Tour of live video today. We've actually been through. I'm just going to bring them up on screen, just a reminder for all of us. Right. Thank you, Chris. Good to know. And Peter. Excellent. Okay. So I'm just going to do a quick reprise and say that this has been live Q&A with Steven. I want to change it. I'm going to go for broke here. I'm actually going to change the layout. Just bear with me a minute. Okay, I'm going for a break here. I like that one better. And we've talked about Revue, the newsletter creation system from Twitter. You can find that on your Twitter account. Just go to your Twitter account, go to more, go to new newsletter, and you can then get access to the newsletter and create your own. And if you've got more than one Twitter account, you can do more than one newsletter. Next thing we talked about was, I'm going to take that one off. Okay, live video production week is March 1st to 5th at 10 a.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. in the UK. And on the broadcast that week will be, okay, on the broadcast that week, we'll get it in a second. Monday is Brigetti Limbanda with BeLive. Tuesday is David Burrows with StreamYard. Wednesday is Marco Novo with Restream. Thursday is Nick Wood with Melon from Streamlabs. And Friday, it's me, hopefully joined by Linda West, and we'll be talking about OBS Ninja. So that's 1st, 5th of March. It's not too far off, actually. In actual fact, it starts a week on Monday. So We've got a week to rehearse and plan it all, and make sure it works on the day, and to get the guests involved. Okay, so, and I think that's what I talked about. And we talked about hot topics for broadcasters as well. And thank you to everybody in the BeLive group who actually replied to the poll. As I say, I will be leaving it until the weekend, and then I'm making arrangements to do a series of live broadcasts involving everybody who actually answered the poll. Right, and we come over to a question from Peter, which was earlier, so forgive me. Okay, and that's this one. Interesting one from Mary about not liking to produce and host at the same time. That's what the live video production week is about. It's about getting somebody to produce your show for you. The only way that you can do it at the moment, because you can only have one producer on a BeLive broadcast and one producer on other systems as well. Only one person can be in control. The only way around it is basically to make that person who you want to be a producer of the show an admin or an editor of your Facebook page. If they're an editor of your Facebook page, then they can schedule to that business page. That you can then join the show as a guest, but you don't have to worry about everything that happens behind the scenes. And that's a lot, as we've just proven today. There isn't a system which has two equal co-hosts. There's just no way of doing it. And short of giving somebody your access to your Facebook account, I wouldn't recommend it. It just doesn't work. I did read the thread, and I didn't quite understand the reference to Blubbing for Britain, because I host and produce the show. Okay, and yeah, simple as. There's no, it doesn't get any more complicated than that. I host and produce the show, and we'll be live at 10 a.m. GMT on Thursday with the next episode of Blubbing for Britain. So if you want somebody to produce your show, then they have to have their own BeLive account, their own StreamYard account, their own Restream account, their own Melon account. The only way they can do it is to be an editor of your page and to have their own account on the broadcasting platform that you're using. There is no other way of doing it at the moment. It is a difficult area, because it's, some people trust people with their Facebook accounts. Despite knowing everybody well, and over to Peter. Yeah, I know, but it's not relevant to what she does. And she watched the show, but there's nothing in the show which is relevant to what she wants to do. She wants somebody else to produce her show, and it's not possible for anybody else to produce a show for her without having their own BeLive account. Yeah, I mean, I can produce a show for you, and you can produce a show for me, because we've got our own BeLive accounts. Yeah. Okay. Okay. So there you have it. I wonder if let's go for. No, I'm not gonna tempt fate. We've got this far. We had a short break when I was silent, and over to Peter. Yes, I know. Okay. As long as we're agreed it wasn't a solution for her, then we're good. Right. Okay. So that's it. That's my world this Tuesday. Thank you for being part of it. I hope to see you both tomorrow and everybody else as well later this week. That's it. That's it. We're over. We're finished for today. Back tomorrow, 12 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. in the UK, on Restream, hosted, it's at my house, hosted by me, a gang of 8 of us, and we'll be live talking about anything and everything. And it's been my pleasure to be here today. Thanks for watching. Take care, and I'll see you all again soon. Goodbye for now. Bye. Hang on. Where do I'm